A billionaire glimpsed a black woman through his car glass. Her attempt to look unattractive failed. In a run-down neighborhood, she wore oversized clothes and hid behind thick glasses. But something about her caught his eye. Who was she, and why was she trying to disappear? That fleeting moment sparked a curiosity he couldn't shake. What secrets lay beneath her disguise? What would happen if their worlds collided? Before we dive in, if you love stories of unexpected connections and true love, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me, have you ever met someone who changed everything with just one glance? Kingsley Jack wasn't born into luxury. Raised in a tough neighborhood, he clawed his way up from nothing, building a real estate empire with grit and determination. Despite his billions, Kingsley carried the weight of his past. Memories of struggle, betrayal, and a broken engagement that left him wary of trusting anyone. Behind his polished exterior was a man who guarded his heart fiercely, believing that vulnerability was a luxury he couldn't afford. Zora Bennett was his opposite in many ways. A passionate cultural anthropologist, she dedicated her life to understanding communities often overlooked by society. Raised in a middle-class academic family, Zora had always felt like an outsider, fighting to prove herself in elite circles. Her latest research involved immersing herself in neighborhoods like Kingsley's old stomping grounds, sometimes disguising her appearance to observe life without bias. Her past love had ended painfully when her partner tried to claim credit for her work, leaving her cautious but fiercely independent. Two worlds, two stories, both shaped by pain and resilience. Kingsley, the billionaire who never forgot where he came from. Zora, the scholar determined to reveal the truth behind appearances. Neither expected their paths to cross, but fate had other plans. One rainy afternoon, Kingsley Jack's driver took an unexpected detour through a neglected part of the city. As the Bentley slowed, Kingsley's eyes caught a figure on the sidewalk, a woman wrapped in oversized clothes, her face partially hidden by a hood and thick glasses. She moved with a quiet grace that didn't match her disguise. Their eyes met through the rain-speckled car glass, and for a moment, everything else faded. Despite her attempt to look unattractive, Kingsley saw something undeniable: intelligence, strength, and a spark that refused to be hidden. The image lingered in his mind long after the car pulled away. Who was she? Why was she hiding? And why did he feel drawn to her? Unbeknownst to Kingsley, Zora Bennett had recognized him instantly. Her disguise was part of her research, to blend in and observe without bias. Seeing Kingsley there in the heart of the community she studied stirred a mix of emotions: curiosity, caution, and something deeper she hadn't expected. Days later, fate brought them together again at a university event. Zora stood confidently at the podium, her natural beauty and passion shining through. Kingsley watched, captivated not just by her words, but by the woman behind them. Their eyes met once more, and the unspoken question hung between them. What would happen if they stopped hiding and faced the truth? Before we continue, if you're intrigued by this unexpected connection, don't forget to like and share. What would you do if you found someone who challenged everything you thought you knew? Let me know in the comments. After the university event, Kingsley couldn't shake the image of Zora, the woman who had captivated him both through the car glass and on the stage. Determined to learn more, he reached out with an unexpected offer. He would fund her research, but only if he could join her in the field. Zora's first reaction was skepticism. Was this just another wealthy man trying to ease his conscience or use her work for his own gain? When they met in her modest office, she didn't hold back. "Mr. Jack, my research isn't a charity project or a photo op," she said firmly. "I'm not interested in being anyone's experiment." Kingsley met her gaze steadily. "I grew up just blocks from where you saw me the other day. I'm not here to play tourist. I want to understand what's changed and what hasn't." His honesty caught her off guard. No one in his world had ever admitted to that. Slowly, she agreed to a trial day together. Their first day was rough. Kingsley's polished manners clashed with the raw realities of the community. Zora grew frustrated watching him analyze everything like a business deal, while Kingsley struggled to shed his detachment. "You're still seeing this like a boardroom," Zora snapped during a visit to a local job fair. "These are people, not investments." Kingsley sighed. "I donated millions to the center last year." "And yet, you're still an outsider," she replied. Money alone can't fix what's broken here. Despite the tension, a fragile respect began to form. Kingsley realized that understanding this world required more than money. It demanded empathy. Zora saw that beneath his billionaire exterior was a man willing to learn. If you're captivated by this unlikely partnership, please like and subscribe to follow their journey. What would you do if someone from a completely different world wanted to walk beside you? Share your thoughts below. Zora knew that for Kingsley to truly understand the community, he had to shed his billionaire image. She took him shopping at thrift stores, helping him pick worn clothes and subtle makeup to blend in. It's not just about looking unattractive, she told him. It's about becoming invisible in a world where your wealth makes you stand out. Kingsley hesitated but trusted her. I used to be invisible here, he admitted quietly, before money made me visible everywhere else. Their first outing in disguise was eye-opening. At a community center job fair, Kingsley struggled to connect. People saw him as just another stranger, not the powerful man he was. Zora guided him gently, encouraging him to listen, not judge. They visited family-owned shops fighting to survive gentrification, community gardens blooming on abandoned lots, and local meetings where real struggles were shared. Kingsley's perspective shifted. He stopped seeing dollar signs and started seeing stories of resilience, hope, and pain. Zora watched as Kingsley's walls began to crumble. His usual guarded demeanor softened, replaced by genuine curiosity and empathy. For the first time, he wasn't a billionaire. He was just a man learning to listen. This transformation wasn't easy. There were moments of frustration, misunderstandings, and doubt. But with each step, their bond deepened. What would it take for you to step into someone else's world? Comment below and let us know. One afternoon, after a long day visiting a community meeting, rain caught Kingsley and Zora off guard. They ducked into a small Ethiopian restaurant to wait it out. The cozy space was filled with a rich aroma of coffee and spices. The elderly owner welcomed them warmly and invited them to join a traditional coffee ceremony. As they sat together, sharing the ritual, something shifted. The barriers they both held up began to fall away. Kingsley, usually reserved and guarded, found himself opening up about his past, the struggles he'd faced growing up, the loneliness behind his success. Zora listened, her own defenses softening. She shared her fears about being seen only as a researcher, never truly understood. In that moment, laughter broke through the tension, light, genuine, and unexpected. The woman who ran the restaurant smiled knowingly. You two remind me of my late husband and me. He was serious like you, sir. I was stubborn like the professor. We argued for 60 years. Kingsley and Zora exchanged a glance, both realizing their connection was no longer just professional. The walls between them had cracked, revealing something real beneath. Have you ever found unexpected warmth in the most unlikely places? Share your story in the comments. Just as Kingsley and Zora's bond deepened, their fragile world shattered. Paparazzi caught them together, and the tabloids exploded with headlines. Billionaire's secret charity dates with Professor. Suddenly, their private journey became public spectacle. Zora's academic peers questioned her integrity, whispering that she compromised her research for proximity to wealth. Her credibility was under attack. Meanwhile, Kingsley's board grew uneasy, warning him that his distraction could jeopardize the empire he'd built. The pressure was suffocating. At a tense meeting, Zora confronted Kingsley. This isn't what I wanted. My work is being undermined, and so is us. Kingsley's voice cracked with frustration. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm losing myself. They faced a painful choice. Fight together against the storm or step back to protect what little they had left. With heavy hearts, they agreed to separate, hoping distance would bring clarity. If you've ever faced a love tested by the world, please like and share the story. What would you do if everything you cared about was suddenly under attack? Comment below. We want to hear from you. Weeks passed in silence. Kingsley buried himself in work, trying to ignore the emptiness Zora's absence left behind. Zora threw herself into her research, racing to finish her book, but her heart wasn't in it. Then came the Community Innovation Conference, where Zora was invited to present her findings. Unbeknownst to her, Kingsley attended anonymously, watching from the back as she spoke with passion and clarity about bridging wealth and community. Her words struck a chord deep within him. She spoke of transformation, not just through money, but through understanding and connection. Their eyes met across the room, and this time neither looked away. After the crowd thinned, Kingsley approached her. "Your research is brilliant," he said simply. Zora smiled, a mix of relief and hope. "It's better because of you. You challenged everything I thought I knew." Kingsley's voice softened. "And you reminded me of who I was before the money, the person I thought I had to bury." "I missed you," she confessed. "Enough to try again?" he asked. Not as billionaire and professor, but as Kingsley and Zora. 6 months later, Kingsley and Zora stood side by side at the opening of the Jack Bennett Community Innovation Center. This wasn't just a building. It was a symbol of their journey, a bridge between two worlds that had once seemed impossible to unite. The center offered entrepreneurs from underserved neighborhoods access to resources, mentorship, and capital on their own terms. Zora spoke passionately to the gathered crowd. "This isn't charity. It's investment in your vision, your future." Kingsley added, "We're just getting started. This model will grow, reaching communities across the country." As the crowd dispersed, Kingsley took Zora's hand. "When I first glimpsed you through that car glass, I never imagined you'd change my life." Zora smiled. "And I never thought my attempt to look unattractive would fail so spectacularly." He looked into her eyes. "It wasn't your clothes or makeup. It was you, completely yourself, unafraid." She laughed softly. "I was trying to be invisible." "You could never be invisible to me. Not then, not now, not ever." Their love had transformed them both. Kingsley reconnecting with his roots, Zora finding a partner who truly understood her. Together, they were building more than a center. They were building hope. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to Zenith Inspiring Stories for more power tales. What would you risk for love that changes everything? Tell us in the comments.